Hi everyone, I'm Tommaso Seglio. I'm a project manager and project planner, and today I will try to explain you some basic concept about evaluation of the objectives in a project. What we need to know is that, firstly, during the creation of a project, we have to imagine that during the development of the project there will be an evaluation phase. Why? Because the evaluation phase will be essential for evaluating the achievement of the objectives of the project. Because every project has to be some objectives. Each project it's created for reaching some objectives. So, for example, we have a project about a training course for young people for improving their skills in, I don't know, entrepreneurship. So, our objective is to understand that the young people involved in the training course will improve their entrepreneur skills. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that after the training course, we will have to verify if the young people involved will have reached the objective of the improvement of their skills. So what we need is to understand if our activity really led to the foreseen objective. It is important to understand that the objective has to be evaluable. So we will need some key elements that we can call indicators, KPI, key performance indicators. Through the application and the identification of this KPI, we will be able to evaluate the achievement of the objectives. So we will have an activity that, in our idea, we will realize for achieving some objectives, but we will have to verify if through the activity we will reach those objectives. Okay, and through the KPI, key performance indicators, we will be able to understand if the objectives will be reached. So the important thing is to first imagine that during the development of the project there will be an evaluation phase. Then it's important to understand how we will evaluate the achievement of the objectives. So it's important to identify in the better way the objectives and the KPI, the indicators. In this way, we will be able already during the creation of the project to imagine what will happen in the evaluation phase during the development of the project. Okay, so it's important to understand that an objective for being evaluable has to be identified following some criteria, because if our objective is not well identified, we will have troubles and problems in evaluating that objective, in understanding if our project is effective, productive in that way. So it's important to understand some criteria that help us in writing during the write of the project in identifying in the better way the objective. We can identify these criteria with the SMART concept. What is SMART concept? The SMART is an acronym that identifies some criteria for describing the objective. First of all, the objective has to be specific, the S of SMART. The objective has to be measurable, the M. Has to be achievable, realistic, and time-bound. So we have to understand that in our project, the objective has to be really defined, has to be specific, not too general, has to be measurable. So we can measure the real achievement of the objective, has to be realistic. We can't imagine as an objective the peace in the world, obviously, because it's not realistic. So we can't evaluate the achievement of this kind of objective, for example. Has to be time-bound. So we have to understand, since the creation, the designing of the project, when our objective could be reached. Okay, so SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. It means that the KPI must indicate us these characteristics. So we will need specific indicators, measurable indicators, indicators that tell us if the objective is achievable, indicators that tell us if the objective is realistic, and indicators that we can verify during our timeline in a specific time of the project, okay, moment of the project. That is really important. It's really important to understand the SMART concept, that an objective has to be really definable, not too general, concrete, and, as we said, realistic and achievable. An instrument for better understanding our objectives and, as consequence, the results, the activities, and the needs, or the needs, then the activities, then the result, then the objectives, is the logical framework. The logical framework is a scheme that we use before writing the proper project to understand if our project concept is clear, especially in relation to the objectives that we want to reach. The logical framework, you can see in the slides, is a grill in which we identify the activity, the objectives that we want to reach through the activities, and how we can verify if the objective is reached at the end of the activities. It is really important to use the logical framework already before the writing of the project, when we are imagining the project, when we are doing our needs analysis, because through the logical framework we can understand better if the activities are linked to the needs analysis, if the results produced through the activities are linked to the needs analysis, if the objectives are concretely achievable through the activities. So, a logical framework consents us to identify in the better way in our mind logical consequences that starts from our needs analysis and will arrive to the concrete achievement of the project. In that way, when we feel a logical framework, is important to have in our mind that each element of the logical framework is connected to the previous one. So our objectives are directly linked to the results that are directly linked to the activities, because the results are produced thanks to the activities. All these phases can be evaluated through the indicators or the means of verifications. Okay, so the logical framework will help us to understand if our projects, through the activities, will lead us to the achievement of the project of the objectives.